Hey guys, I'm Mundred here, working on my 1994 C4 Corvette again. You've been watching my videos, had some issues, some things aren't working quite right on it. And we've done a lot of work to it. Just recently replaced the Opti, went to fire it up, car's still not running right, and I had some codes on the car. So all of the codes were EVAP codes or emissions codes, map sensor codes, EGR valve code, gas recirculating codes, stuff like that. And I'll put like a picture of all the codes on the screen somewhere. But there's a bunch of them. So I went ahead and decided to order a new EGR valve, a new EGR control solenoid, and a new map sensor. And when I was pulling out my map sensor, I broke the plug on it. So here's where the map sensor is, and I broke the little retaining thing for the wires on here when I was pulling it off. There's just a couple 8mm bolts here that hold it into place, and then it just kind of pops out, and there's like a little, I don't know, rubber seal gasket thing there. And it goes right here, and it's pretty dirty. So we're gonna go ahead and replace it. And in order to replace it, I went ahead and bought what's called Walker Products Map Sensor Repair Kit. The box is destroyed. This thing's probably as old as the car is, but it comes with some cool stuff in it here. So this kit here comes with a new map sensor, the new little rubber seal thing that goes right on there, and it comes with a new pigtail, as well as with wire splicers and some heat shrink tubing. So that way we can go ahead and repair this pigtail while we're in here, so I don't have to worry about the wires popping out and not sticking on there and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and figure out the best option for leaving enough wires on there, so that way I don't leave it too short. I might just cut it off right there and just use those wires and splice it right into there. So I'm ready to do that here. I'm gonna follow the instructions here. I don't know if they matter, but really it's just a matter of taking this plug, making sure the wires line up so when it plugs in the same way as the original equipment one. And these are the papers that came with this Walker Products map sensor kit. Just something showing that it passed testing. Shows you how to splice wires in case you didn't know how to do that. Gives you some instructions there. And then obviously it's GM style. It just explains how to use the nipple on there and things like that properly. All right, so here I've gone ahead and prepped the new pigtail. I left the wires a little bit long, so I've got some room to work with down there. You can always tuck them up under there and stuff. I'll put some protective tubing on there. Some wrap to keep them from getting hot, but I've gone ahead and crimped down that little piece there. I've got the heat shield slid over the top. Now I'm gonna cut back the wires down here on that connector, strip them back, gonna crimp them together, and then I'll use that heat shrink to give it a really good seal on there. All right, and there it is, all crimped together, and the heat shrink tubing on there and shrunk down to hold it in place nice and tight, so it won't go anywhere. Like I said, I gave myself a little bit of extra wire room in here. We can just kind of wrap that up and wind it down under there, wherever you want to go. Just gave myself some more room with that. And then I did go ahead and use electrical tape to wrap up the wires. And then I used a split loom on the outside of it just to give it some extra protection. And here you can see everything else has kind of got the split loom on it in the car from factory anyway to give it some protection. So I went ahead and did the same thing. And then that new map sensor, I went ahead and put that little rubber nipple piece on right there. I'm going to go ahead and since I have this long enough, I'm going to plug it in and then go ahead and install it here. And then plug back in my little solenoid thing right here as well. And then there's that map sensor all installed. Here's where that wire is going to route right there. And the valve covers sit down here. So plenty of room. Looking good. On to the EGR valve and solenoid over there. And then over on the driver's side, we're going to be replacing the EGR valve right here on the back. And then the EGR valve solenoid right there. I don't know if they're both not working or one's not working. Getting the trouble codes, so we're just going to swap them both out while we're in here. And I am using the AC Delco OE parts for the solenoid and the EGR valve here, in case anyone was wondering what parts I was using for this part. And to make all that easier to get to, I did disconnect this hose here from the air recirculation system that goes to the exhaust over there. And then I was able to just pull the EGR valve out right there, and the solenoid was sitting right here. I actually was able to pull it out kind of as one piece with all the vacuum lines still connected to it. So you want to make sure that those are in good shape, not all tore up and stuff like that. And if they're bad, go ahead and replace them at this time as well. All right, so then here's the new solenoid, the new valve. Going to be putting those right back in there, and then hooking up all the hoses again, and I don't know. We'll reset the codes and see if it runs any better than it was before. And there it is, all put back together. New EGR valve right there, EGR valve control solenoid right there, a new PCV valve there with hose and everything. Here's where I blocked off the vacuum from when I had the newer style distributor that had the vented opti, which I just went back to the OE style for a 94, which is a sealed non-vented unit. So we're ready to kind of put it back together. I'm going to reset the diagnostic codes on the car and try to fire it up here shortly. All right, and to get the codes on the screens, if you didn't know, you got to jump a couple of your jumpers on your diagnostic port. I just use a little piece of wire here as my fancy code getting tool. And down here under the dash is where we're actually going to jump those really quick to get the codes up and reset them. And right here, it's the number 4 on the top, and then the one directly below it, which is number 12 along the bottom that you're actually jumping here. And then we'll go up to the dash, turn on the keys, see the codes, and reset them. I've mentioned it in a couple of my other videos. Having a quick disconnect steering wheel here makes doing stuff in the car so much easier. You can get under the dash, you can get in, you can work on your cluster, all that stuff. See the steering wheel sitting over there on the floorboard, and I'm just using it. NRG hub, NRG quick disconnect with whatever steering wheel of your choice over there. But it makes this really simple. So we're gonna go ahead and pop the key in now that we've got the pins jumped. Get the codes up on the screen on the dash here. It'll kind of cycle through them and show us some codes and stuff on here that we're gonna see. I've already seen all these. Once it cycles through, I'm just gonna go in and clear these out. All right, so once it's gone through all the codes, you can get back here and you're gonna use the trip odometer button to get to the section of the computer you wanna be under. And all the CCM error codes will be under 1.7. Then you're gonna hold down this little English metric button until 3 dashes appear right there, so those have been reset. So now to get into the other sections of the computer, I'm gonna hold down this trip button, and that's gonna switch it over. Now we're in section 4, and same thing, trip odometer to 4.7, and that's the like the reset area of the thing, and then hold down that English metric button again. There we go, we reset those. Hold down trip to get to the next section, same thing, trip odometer to 9.7. Hold it down to reset it, everything's reset there. There was nothing here, but we're going to go through the entire process, reset it all, just in case there happened to be anything in there that didn't come up on the codes. And we should be all through there, so now we're going to turn off the key, turn it back on, just make sure all those codes did in fact reset. So C12 just means it's operating normally, it's reading correctly. We're just looking to make sure no codes come up, but just get the dashes under each section now. And that should be it. All codes cleared out, goes back to 1.0. Back to beginning. So now we can go ahead and turn it off and get ready to try to fire up the car, see how it runs. All right, I don't expect the car to run correctly, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be surprised. Here goes nothing. It's still not running right. I didn't expect it to run right, so like I said, I think it's a more serious problem than just an optus bar or some sensors. So, it's backfiring, missing pretty bad. So So yeah, definitely a little bit more serious problem, which I was kind of figuring. I just wanted to go ahead and replace those parts because when I pull the engine out and rebuild the engine, I got to replace all those parts anyway, so I may as well get them now just to make sure that's not the problem. So watch for some videos coming of me doing a hopefully super awesome, fun, exciting build for my 94 Corvette. Until next time, guys.